Hi there, traders. It's Monday, the 5th of July, and I'm here with the week ahead preview. All right, now let's just have a quick recap of where we left off last Friday, right? Non-farm payrolls, big number, loads of numbers coming out. Now, the poll here for the non-farms was 700. The unemployment figure was expected to come out at 5.7. These are the two numbers, right? So you get the non-farm payrolls themselves much better than expected. And the unemployment rate, it's 0.2% is enough to probably offset that non-farm payrolls improvement. The other thing is the 0.4 was expected for the month-on-month earnings, so slightly weaker earnings, slightly worse unemployment rate, but good underlying number. Now, it was one of those ones. There was so much build-up. I mean, I had huge anticipation of dollar strength here, but what we saw, the dollar get crunched, and now we're sort of back below these recent trend lines that were building up all last week, right? But the dollar was moving topside, everything was looking good. We just needed this one number to fit into the puzzle, and it didn't. So what does that leave us with? Well, a lot of these currencies are back in the range, or they're coming back towards resistance levels. Now, excuse me, the hard part about this is not like a weak US number, right? It's a bit of a mixed number. So to me, it doesn't give us dollar weakness, and it doesn't give us outright huge dollar strength momentum. So we're at a bit of a crossroads here because of, we just didn't get all those numbers lining up, and the market isn't really sort of sure about where to go from here. So you are seeing retracements here on a number of pairs, like dollar Swiss is just back into the range. Dollar Swiss and dollar yen, very, very similar. You've got a breakdown here in dollar CAD, a break up in euro. Sterling's dancing around the trend line there. We've got a retracement back towards resistance here on the Aussie, and you can also see that on the Kiwi as well. So it's like, what do we do? Well, my initial reaction was, okay, that takes dollar strength off the table, and we see how it goes, a bit of dollar weakness. But when you break it down and you see how the equity markets, US equity futures and the markets are sort of behaving at the moment, it's pretty muted, right? We are looking for that defining factor. Are we going to see dollar weakness here? Now, as I said, the dollar index is retraced back to the trend line. Like if this is dollar weakness, it should just drift lower, but I don't know if it's that clearly defined. So it's a little bit confusing in my experience, because this isn't an outright weak number, right? And it's not an outright strong number. So we're sort of caught right in the, it's like a deer in the headlights. You're trying to work out, do we buy or sell? It's like, well, immediately the market sold dollars because they were so highly anticipating strong numbers, and the impact of those strong numbers would have seen a really nice medium to sort of setting up for a longer term strong dollar. Now it's back in the box a bit. Now, and also just understand the way the month started, okay, with the month starting at the sort of the middle of the week, right? US CPI is until the 13th. So we've got another week of trading before this. And we've got, the US holiday today, North American holiday, is also going to make for a disjointed market. So today, excuse me, I'm trying to work out, well, without any clear bias, I'm trying to work out which pairs are good to be traded or not. I still like euro selling back towards resistance, and this is where it comes back into. Let me just come back to the charts. When you're looking at the charts here, like the euro is, we still have this defining downtrend in euro. We've got a good resistance line here just above 118.80. It's the clearest one out of the bunch that hasn't really snapped through. I know the Aussie actually hasn't snapped through anything yet, and the Kiwi, but Kiwi's a bit further away. So the euro to me is good. And let me just explain why. It's because a lot of data this week, and this is one of those weeks where without the US CPI numbers, it's a lot of second tier numbers that are good. They're solid. They do make a story towards inflation, etc., in the across many countries. So you can often get a nicer, cleaner move without the big, rapid, knee-jerk reaction you get from something like non-farm payrolls. Now, just if you have a look here, right? So even starting today, we've got some Eurozone numbers. And as I go through the week, right, you get some, even on Tuesday, you get some German numbers and more Eurozone retail sales numbers. Then we got some second tier, get ISM, let me get that out, non-manufacturing, US numbers, right? And then you flow down a bit further. And as we got some more industrial output out of Germany, the Ivy PMI out of Canada, and coming into like Thursday, Friday, some peripheral numbers there out of Germany. The weekly jobless claims out of the US. Okay, that's something to sort of, you could hang your hat on a little bit. And then we finish up with a bunch of UK data, and most importantly, well, not most importantly, but a really good opportunity. Every second month, the Canadian employment numbers come out by themselves, and that's a very good opportunity to get into dollar CAD without the calamity of trying to deal with non-farm payrolls, what's going on in oil, and then the Canadian numbers as well. So Friday, definitely focusing on the Canadian dollar. Friday in Europe, obviously sterling is going to be the main show. But for the rest of the week, I can see the Eurozone coming into play. Now, what you want to be looking for is a bit of strength and weakness across these numbers to give us short-term momentum, right? It may go some way to giving us some answers here around Euro, right? We do have this resistance line up here, right? I can't say whether it goes up or down at this point, but this gives us trading decisions, gives us the ability to make trading decisions around this, because the market will be trading around that trend line, right? Selling or buying. What we've got to work out where that momentum is. If we get stronger Eurozone German numbers, well, then we could see a break to the top side. If they all come out weak, well, then we see that move continuing on the downside, right? That's where we are with that. So usually with the macroeconomic fundamentals, we can work out where the focus is going to be, right? That's what you want to be looking at. Now, on Tuesday, we do have, sorry, let me just come back to the other screen. The RBA cash rate decision. Now, the country's been in lockdown for a couple of weeks. That's going to blow out any chance of the RBA sort of coming in and managing forward guidance or anything like that. They will wait till everything's well and truly open before they start trying to bring forward interest rate hikes, etc. So I can't see anything out of the RBA. I hate to spoil your plans if you were thinking that's going to be a cracker. And the rest of the numbers, well, I tell you what, the zoo economic sentiment numbers, retail sales, all these Eurozone numbers add up to paint a picture. Is the Eurozone moving along progressively or not? Excuse me. And then you can just fit in the rest of the numbers around that. So Euro, definitely a focus. Friday, sterling. Friday also the dollar CAD or the Canadian crosses. And that's pretty much where we are at this stage, right? We haven't got enough news and information at this point to tell us whether we go long or short dollars or whether to buy or sell euro. We're going to wait for that data to come out. All right. And there's not much else to do. As I said, US holiday. So Tuesday in North America will be like the start of the week, which is usually very quiet. You come into, so really Wednesday is where things are going to pick up, and you've got a very short week. All right. So factor that in as well. A lot of traders, North American holidays, etc. A lot of traders will be waiting for momentum to come back in the market. Makes it easier to pick off the major pairs. So keep an eye on that as you go forward. Now, last thing, I just want to let you know, I'll be off comms for a month. Mark will be taking over the updates, etc. So all the very best, and I'll be back before the next non-farm payrolls. All right, guys, have a good month. Cheerio.